Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. There is one thing that you can do that is so simple. You should be doing it anyway, in my opinion, but it can completely change your life if you practice this on a regular basis. And many of us look at this and think, well, what's that going to do? And it's so easy. Come on. How's that going to make a difference? I'm talking about being grateful. As simple as that. Practicing gratitude. How do you do that? Why should you do that? How can that change your life? We're going to get those questions answered. She answers lots of questions with everything that she does, from being a psychic medium, an energy healer, an intuitive. And this is the gratitude thing, people, is in the energy wheelhouse. And let's bring her in here. Alisha B is back with us. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very well, and feeling guilty.
Guilty, not waking with gratitude.
I didn't write in my gratitude journal.
Oh no.
I haven't in like 2 days. And I intentionally got up this morning and said, I'm not going to hit the gym. I'm just going to take care of things. I have a slower start to the morning. And then I passed by my journal and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I got other stuff. And then I didn't do it. And I'll hit it later today. But why should we be doing this? I'm not going to say any more, and no more opinions on my end here. What's the big deal here?
Well, so gratitude reshapes your day. I don't know how you wake up in the morning, but a lot of people wake up with the thought of, oh, another day, or I have to go to work again, or things of that nature. And that sets up your day to be a bad day. So instead, what I like to do and what I tell everybody that will listen is wake up and just be grateful you opened your eyes that morning. Be grateful you get to have a cup of coffee or tea and drive to work, and you get to do that. I understand you may not enjoy your job, but being grateful for the little things that get you going in the morning will help make your day a positive day. So it just changes the whole perspective and outlook of your day if you just wake up grateful to be awake, grateful to be alive.
Yeah, 100%. And it's my understanding that if you think it's a bad day, all right, you wake up, you spilled your coffee, the dog went to the bathroom on the floor before you could take him out. That went wrong. And you're saying to yourself, it's going to be one of those days. Oh, great. What's going to happen next? Guess what? Something not so favorable is going to happen next because you asked for it. And it's funny, like my mom always used to say, and I'm sure everybody's mom, be careful what you ask for. It's so true because you will get it. The universe is listening and wants to bring it to you. So why not start with positivity, right?
Yes, positivity. So I start with gratitude and then I give grace throughout the day. And grace is not just for other people, it's for me as well. When I make a mistake, instead of harping on myself, oh, you could have done better, you handled the situation the best you could at that moment, but now you have time to reflect so you can do different in the future. So we give that grace and gratitude to other people, but we always forget about us, ourselves. And that is super important to think about you and giving yourself that grace and gratitude as well.
That being said, I do a radio show. I've been doing radio for literally since I was a kid, like literally paid paycheck, everything. I won't tell you how many years. And I end every show with these words: be kind to yourself and others. And I think that's in line with what you just said. Showing yourself some grace. Be kind to yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. The whole gratitude thing. This is my understanding, and I want your feedback on it. That when you practice gratitude, you're saying, I'm thankful for these things, no matter what they are. Doesn't matter. You're grateful for them. And the universe hears that and says, oh, well, that's really cool. Let me give you more of that because you like it. Is that true?
Exactly. What you're putting out there and being thankful for, the universe, creator, source says, okay, so they're noticing these little things, these little gifts that they're getting, the way they're manifesting their reality. Let's help them continue that. Let's help them keep that energy high and that vibration high. And so their day is more positive than negative. Let's get them out of that rut, because they're realizing it's not detrimental, or it's not always a rainy cloud over them. There is sunshine, and they're starting to see that. So we're going to give them more sunshine, and we're giving more rainbows or butterflies, however you want to see it. And as you collect those and be grateful, you just get more and more, and your reality changes. You're not in that, oh, I hate my job. I don't want to get up. I wish I could pull the covers back over my head. Instead, you wake up and you're like, I'm ready to face the morning. What's today going to bring? It's going to be good. That's all I know.
Yeah, and if the day throws me a couple of curves, yeah, I got this. No worries. Why trip up on that? Why stumble on that? Um, what's your suggestion for practicing gratitude? I keep a journal. What are your thoughts?
So journaling is a great way, waking up and just being grateful for being awake. And then when you go to bed, be grateful for the things that happened to you through that day. Whether good or bad, you're learning lessons, you're growing as a person, and you're learning yourself more in every day and every interaction you have. So
Mm.
be grateful that you have those, because that's an opportunity for you to just take a peek inside and check on yourself, because those moments are for you, not other people.
So I write three things down
Mhm.
that I'm grateful for. It could be anything. It could be I'm grateful for this cup of coffee because it's not about the caffeine. In fact, I rarely do caffeine. It's it's more of it's not my little treat for me.
Yeah.
My little warm treat in the morning. I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for the coffee bean growers, the baristas, the people that do the packaging. Um, and I just write three things down. Here's what others have told me. I haven't started practicing this yet on a regular basis. Um, again, want your feedback. Someone told me if you're going to write something down, I am grateful for this. What are your feelings? I'm grateful for coffee. Okay. Why? Because it makes me feel good. Your feelings, that add to that. So that's number one. Then you mentioned about going to right before bed. Somebody told me that you should write in your gratitude journal before you go to bed with your feet on the floor because you're grounding.
Grounding. Uh-huh.
And this person said that it will enable you to sleep better. And you will notice this in 14 days. And you'll wake up in a better mood. Haven't tried it yet. It's only 14 days I'm doing it anyway. So looking forward to giving that a shot. But all of this, I think a lot of us don't know what to do, don't know how to do it.
Yeah, and it's really a reframing of your mind. I know before this journey, I was the one that woke up grumbling that I had to get to work, that I had to do the job, and that I chose. And, it made for a day to where I was like walking hunched over, just didn't want another moment to pass. I just wanted to go back to my bed.
Yep.
And when I started practicing gratefulness, I wake up and sure, I maybe didn't get enough sleep that night, or I feel still tired, but I got to open my eyes. So that can't be too bad, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I started reframing just how I thought and the little things I'm thankful for. I got to go outside and see the sunshine. Not everybody's getting the sunshine today. Some people have storms or, some sort of weather and it's dark. But the little moments that we can be grateful for, and however you put that into practice, I say adapt it to you, because it's how you're grateful for things, not how I am. I'm going to do it a different way. But the important part is remembering to have gratitude,
Mm.
to have those moments where you're just like, thank you for a partially great day. These things went phenomenal, and it made me feel like I could continue on tomorrow. And I'm just so happy it happened. And then see how you wake up the next day, you
Would
know?
you say by doing this that well, okay, so let's say you have one of those days. Maybe some things happened, a little more emotional than usual. You just feeling kind of like that. Practicing that gratitude can turn you around way faster than if you weren't doing that.
It definitely can. And I put them as the three G's. So gratitude, grounding, and grace. Those are my three that go together.
Hmm.
So you're going to give gratitude. And then in those moments, as you were talking, like, oh, this is just a lot, take a breath, put your feet on the ground, close your eyes, and just center yourself, and it's going to be okay. And that gives you that grounding moment to clear your mind to continue practicing grace and gratitude for yourself and others. What happens, at least for me, is when I get into those moments where it's a lot, I forget that it's going to be okay. And I get wrapped up in the anxiety or the fear or
Right.
whatever's happening.
Yeah.
So you can grab that moment and be like, "Ooh, it's okay. It's okay." And then move forward. You're going to see it will change your outlook, your feelings. You're not going to be anxious. You're going to be calm, and it's going to be something you can address very easily instead of getting wrapped into the negative emotions of anxiety, fear, or things of that nature. You have grace for it. I mean, I know we keep going back to that word, but you're thankful for the moments that you took a step forward on yourself and managed a situation different than you ever have. And that's going to continue to carry on every day for you.
See, I completely agree with that. And that's I it seems like the recovery period, the bounce back period, when you have one of those days, um, we all have them, you spring back faster.
Yes.
It's almost like what you just described. It's like, all right, I need a reset. Just like, okay, you know, all right, now I'm good. But it's way faster than if you were wallowing in pity,
Yes. Yes.
feeling victimized, because you're not looking at the good stuff. You're not. You're just, give me more negative. Give me, because I'm so used to feeling negative. Throw that one on and throw another one on top of me. All right, that's great. I want to share. Uh, I bought recently and even have given them as gifts a gratitude journal. So I used to write in a notebook, but then I found this journal online and not selling anything, just sharing. It's it just makes it easier. It even says, what are you grateful for? 3 lines. Um, what would make today great? 3 lines. Affirmations. I am, and that's your affirmations for the day, whatever it is. I am resilient. I am creative. Um, then there's a section uh, before bed. What would have made today better? And they sell these. They're like, 20 something dollars. I found this one, call it a knockoff of, the $25 one, like $8.
Mhm.
Not even kidding. Hardbound. It's like that thick, and it's got a lot of inspirational pages in the front, and it even has a quote at the top of every page. And at the top of every page, you put the date. And it's cool because you can reflect back and see where you were, what you were thinking. So when I found it, I was like, wow, $8. Oh my God. It's a deal.
That's
Tough
a
to
good
shop
deal.
around. Yeah, I think it makes it easier because you have the lines to fill in. You can just use a notebook for 50 cents, whatever you want to use, but keeping that gratitude journal or practicing gratitude. What do you do outside of a journal to practice? You said grace throughout the
Yeah.
day. What's going on?
So first, I would like to just touch on the topic of the grace journals. Those are phenomenal. If you can't get yourself started on how do I get into gratitude and grace and doing that, those gratitude journals are amazing to get you started. And then once you're in the routine of it, you can start writing in your own notebook because you figured out how to do that. Um, for your other question, sorry, I kind of forgot what it was because I wanted to touch on that.
No, no, no. Practicing grace. Now you mentioned that you do it throughout the day. What do you do?
Yes. So there are so many. I'll give a specific example. Here's one that happened to me most recently. I had gone to eat with my husband. We were in line. Someone felt they were more busy or entitled, cut in front of us. And for a moment, I was like, oh no. And I was about to do something. I was like, you know what? They obviously feel they need this more. They need to be in the front of the line. And that is for them to sort out. I don't have to be mad for the rest of the day. I'm going to take a breath, give them the grace that they feel this is more important to them than anybody else. And I'm going to move forward with my day. And that gave me the opportunity to not sit there and be like, oh, can you believe I can't believe they were that entitled or whatever it is that goes through your mind in that moment.
Hmm. I totally agree with you, and I've been there. And doing this stuff that we're talking about, again, the recovery period. There's been times where somebody cut me off. I'm like, you,
Yeah,
and it goes on for like, 10 minutes. Like, now I'm like, you get triggered for a moment. You're like, "Ah," and it's like, what's it going to do to get
exactly.
angry? How is it going to make it any better? and you don't know what's going on with them. Maybe they're working 4 jobs to support their family and they made that turn um, without realizing it. Maybe they didn't get a lot of sleep. Maybe they got a phone call, horrible phone call, and they're
Yep.
just, so you give them grace. It's just let it go because it's not, all it's going to do is just drag you down. They don't care. They already there. They drove past you.
Exactly. They could care less if you get mad because they're in their own world. And so don't take it on. Give yourself the opportunity to give them grace and you grace, because the grace for you on that point is not getting mad, learning to work through the feelings. Okay, I felt the feelings. I wanted to say something or do something or react in a negative manner, but now I'm going to give myself the opportunity and the grace to let it go, which is one of the harder things we do as humans, is to just let something go when we're slighted. And
Mm,
it'll change how you view people and their situations versus your situation. It changes your outlook on that to where, okay, we all have stuff going on, much like you said. So why are we getting mad? Why can't we just let them let them do? And I'm not saying let someone slight you by any means. There are certain situations where you need to stand up for yourself.
for sure.
But little things, we don't need to get mad at them. We don't need to hold that on into us and then carry it on throughout the day. Maybe the next day you're still mad. Don't let that ruin your experience and your life. Instead, let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of the situation, but I remember um, being a little, miffed off at something that happened. Um, and a half hour later, I don't even, I forgot about it. Like, what was that again? Like, I can't even think of it, whatever it is now. But I remember in my mind in the last 2 weeks, there was something that just like you described, and then it was done. Like it's amazing how you can just refocus quicker when you start this habit. Side note, disclaimer, I know it's not easy. It's not. We got stuff going on. There's challenges. But if you can rise above in some way, it can help you. And I think it also reframes you and keeps you more positive.
I think so too. And if so, I know there's a lot of parents out there that are like, oh, I can't do it before bed or first thing in the morning. I have my kids. When you go to shower, typically parents have that small window. Take your journal in there with you before you jump in the shower. Write in your journal. Give yourself 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you need for that. Find your moment that you can manage to give yourself the gratitude and grace for your day. That'll also help with the kids. That gives you a little more like, oh,
Mhm.
they're not getting on my nerves as bad because I'm learning to work through how these emotions affect me. Mhm.
One thing I think we should share is that scientifically proven, you have to write it down. I mean, you can type it, on your phone, but there is a connection between the mind and the hand that
Mhm.
solidifies the thought. And they do research on this all the time. I know it's a little, takes a little more time. You can grab a pen and it's old school. But there's a reason for it as opposed to just typing it.
There is. And also, like writing it out, your gratitude, writing it out, it actually releases serotonin and dopamine, which are your elevation, your mood enhancers.
Yeah.
And you're setting yourself up to have a better day, to change your day, because you are waking up and saying, I want serotonin and dopamine because I don't want this day to go bad. Let me be grateful.
I should have wrote my journal this morning. And I had the time too, and I kept putting it off. What if you feel you're doing it and you're not feeling a difference?
I would say go back and look at what you've put in your journal.
Mm,
Sometimes we can go, how to say, we don't actually write grateful things. It's kind of like a half truth that we write in there. You need to be honest with yourself when you write in your gratitude journal. You can't lie to yourself because yourself knows. And if you're not seeing improvement, go back and review what you wrote and see if any of that is only a partial truth. And then
mm.
write the full truth in there on how what you're grateful for, how it makes you feel, the emotions attached to it. Go in depth a little bit. You may not one, 2 words. Oh, I'm grateful for me as a cancer survivor. I'm grateful to be awake every day. Every day, I'm so thankful that I get to open my eyes. Not everybody has that background, so that's not going to be something that might be beneficial for you to use because you didn't go through that portion of what I went through. So it's what fits for you, and be honest with yourself when you do it.
Totally get it. And there's always something to be grateful for. Sometimes you'd be sitting there and like, I don't know what to write. I already did all the usual things and wrote
Mhm.
them down. There is even the fact that, I'm grateful. Once I wrote, I have an old Jeep I use just for like, taking to the beach. And I'm diverting here, but there's a reason. Um, it's like 20 something years old. I
Mhm.
always say it's in hospice. It's got a limited time. Um, when it used to break down, and this is an energy, evidence of energy.
Mhm.
When it used to break down, I was like, you piece of junk. Thanks a lot. When it was running well, then I reframed it and I started praising it. Like, I thank you. Thank you for taking me to the beach and go kayaking today. Thank you for starting up again. Thank you. Thank you. I
Yes.
have not had a problem with it in the longest time. And I even wrote that in my gratitude journal. I'm grateful for my little junky Jeep. It's just my little, you know, my makes me feel like a kid again. I can just, I don't have to worry about it. I'll leave it unlocked, whatever. But it's just, to me, energy is everything. And that's what the gratitude situation here is: positive energy. And even I put positive energy into the Jeep. I'm not even kidding. I'm
Yeah.
like, is it going to start this time? There it started. Oh, and it's running great considering. Um, but you put negative energy into something like I used to, belts would pop, things would break, it
Yes.
would be an issue. I got to get fixed. I'm like, how much more money I'm going to put into it? Evidence that this energy thing is real, at least for me.
That's a great example of how energy works. 100%. What Just something to impress upon everybody is, even if it seems like an inanimate object, it has energy and vibration. There is nothing in this universe that does not have a form of energy or vibration that it gives off. So when you speak negative, you can see this in, I don't know if you've heard of the ice experiments where they speak negative to water, they freeze it and it comes out ugly. They speak nice, it comes out in beautiful forms. So that's
Mm.
water, and everybody's like, oh, it's water. It is, it has energy and vibration. Everything does. So speak positive and see the positive return. You speak negative, that's what it spreads out for you. And so I think it's beautiful that you started talking nice to your Jeep. By the way, I have a Jeep as well. That you started talking nice to the Jeep, and it was like, yay, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, yeah, and I have a car, and it's time to get a new one. And side note, things are popping up on it. Like I was like, I want to hold on to it a little longer, a little longer. It's almost as if the universe is telling me, you need to replace this car because more things, and it's getting to the point where it doesn't make sense to spend more money on it. But it's like it's mounting, even though I treat it well. Um, I believe the universe has a plan, and it's saying, "Okay, bro, now it's time. You know,
$100.
let it go, trade it in, get the most you can for it, and get something new." It's amazing what you observe, and yeah, there's skeptics out there. I get it.
Mhm.
Um, you know what I say to those? Try it.
Exactly. I think skepticism is very important no matter where you go, whether it be a corporation that you're going to or a psychic or an energy healer that you go to. A little bit of skepticism helps kind of build a barrier that you're not getting scammed or ripped off. So I don't see a problem with skepticism. There's an important point to it.
Mhm.
But if you're not trying what is being said, then your skepticism to me is unfounded because you haven't given an opportunity to check it out, especially in this realm, energy and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Got a second left, and I always wanted to ask this question. So energy healer, right? Why can't we heal the world? If it's, you can heal somebody through positive energy. Why is it not possible to just put that all out there to everybody?
So there are groups that we do that, but it all comes back to the mind. If you are living in the negative thoughts throughout your day, you are not going to have a vibration that matches where that healing is. You are allowing yourself to say unintentionally, I don't want to be helped. I don't want to feel better. I'm going to wallow in this, and this is where I'm comfortable, and I don't want it to change. So when you do gratitude, like we've been talking about, you're telling the universe, I do want help. I want things to be better for me. I want things better for my family. and then you start putting that off, and then the energy is going to come back. And we do spread it across the world. We do stuff with land, with weather. There's groups that do things for weather to help dissipate the strength of it. Would be the best, but it's most important. One, you have to have consent from people to do energy work. They have to be accepting of it. So if you're in the frame of, I don't want better, you're not accepting the healing that is being put out into the universe, and that can come to you.
I figured that would be it. Yeah. It's the same thing. If, let's say, hypnotherapy helps people with everything, right down to smoking. And it doesn't work if you don't want it to work.
Exactly.
You know, like your partner, spouse can't say, all right, I'm bringing you to the hypnotherapist to help you stop smoking. And then you show up and I'm here. I don't know what, I want to keep smoking, but she keeps saying that she's going to bring me here. It's not going to work. Same thing with the energy. Wow.
100%. Yeah.
How do we find you? If somebody wants to go deeper on this, whether it's a psychic reading, whether it's energy healing, how do we find you?
The best place to find me, my direct website for booking is insightpsychics.com/Alisha, ALISHA. You can also find me on Google. My business number is listed there, 256-469-8111. And then with that number, if you have questions, general questions about bookings, shoot me a text. I'll get back to you within 24 hours. Yeah.
I love the way you present all of this. It's concise, easy to understand, genuine. Like your energy is, it's huge. It's just, it's so good. It feels, I feel better. Like even just talking with you. It's, if you haven't gone down the road of realizing this thing is, you know, energy and even just how the energy is part of the psychic connection to the other side. That's all energy too. Go on the website, send a text, start a conversation. You'll be surprised. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree.
Thank you so much. And also happy holidays to you and your family.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll catch up soon. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcasts on the go and don't miss a minute of the action. Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcasts on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, I mean, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.